feel like too often we try to wait for our happiness to be shown to us. Like we wait for those little positive instantiations of what life is. Stop waiting on life to happen. I feel like too often we get so caught up in our daily lives to the point where we fail to realize like all the beauty that's within everything around us. And I'm not saying just like beauty in like a sense that, oh, I look at the sunset, it's beautiful. No, the beauty in like just being able to experience, just being able to walk through your day to day and realize that, you're a person, you can do so much. If you want to make someone smile that day, you for sure can. If you want to smile that day, you could for sure make that happen. I feel like it's kind of like that quote I said in a previous video. Stop trying to see the life, start trying to be it. We should try to be the life and trying to see it. I feel like when we're trying to see life, when we're trying to perceive that happiness and derive our self-worth and self-happiness and self-esteem from the external, we ought to lose a lot. It's like anchoring down in what is it called? Ungrounded, material or a non-stable foundation. When you're not, directly linking stuff to yourself, or you're not positing that within yourself, you ought to lose a lot. I think the external world is a constantly moving, constantly changing thing. And it's not always going to be in your favor. It's not always going to be, positively attuned to what you want to do. So instead, I feel like we have to posit that within ourselves. Be able to be happy just being yourself. And understand that your happiness can't come from, an external thing. It's always an internal thing. I think a lot of time we reach to the external and try to make things happen to make us happy. And oftentimes it doesn't work. Sometimes people will get those grand moments, they get what they want, and a month down the line they don't feel anything. It's like it's lost its kindle. And for me, in my experience, because a lot of stuff recently has turned around for me for the better. I'm super appreciative, super grateful. But I was already feeling that gratitude before I got it. I don't really know how to explain it further than that, but like in terms of my happiness, I feel like it's just been growing every day. I'm finding new ways to be happy every day. Spending most of my day positive. Like I'll explain. Like the other day I had a situation. I just found myself being angry. I just found myself being like I just didn't want to talk to people. I was gonna crash out in a way. And I was in a social setting. I just didn't feel like talking, didn't feel like doing much. But in my head, I was like, I'm kind of wasting time. I'm wasting part of my life just sitting in this anger that I don't even know the justifications for. I don't even know why I'm like this, and it's not benefiting me positively. So, I went to the bathroom. I just got away. You look yourself in the mirror for a little bit. Try to figure out what's going on. If it's nothing, you just got to turn it around. Sort of make those instantiations of positivity and happiness for yourself. Like I went back out there and started being myself. Started, cracking a few jokes, being a little goofy. And it turned my whole night around. I had so much fun. And that's all because I chose to, instead of like trying to bring in my own happiness from the external world, I posited it myself. Instead of taking the world's vibration, I gave my own. I made the choice for myself instead of letting the world choose for me. And that's what it really means to be the life instead of trying to see it. If you're constantly letting that choice be made for you, it's not going to be positive most of the time. It's a beautiful world, but not so good of a place in a way. Like, of course, there's plenty of things going on in the world right now that are not happy, not positive in the slightest. People's lives, everybody has, their dark moments. Light is only in reference to dark. Sometimes you have to experience the bad in order to have the good. But understand when you're creating your own darkness. Understand when you're dimming your own light by sitting in a place of, I don't know, negativity, or sitting in a place of lowness, low self-image, low self-esteem. Because a lot of that, you know, what brings me happiness is being genuine most of the time. Like being able to express myself in a way that's 100% me. And the only way I really got to be able to do that, because before, like it was me, but now I feel like I could basically do anything. I trust my morals. I trust my spirit. I kind of let myself go. I said that in another video. I think some of y'all resonated with that a lot. Letting yourself go, not in the sense of like, oh, I don't want to do anything for myself. I'm not going to. I'm not gonna try this. I'm not gonna try that. But instead, just doing what you want, but also realizing your responsibilities. I was talking to a friend literally yesterday. Last night we were walking, and I was like, yeah, like the happier I get, the less I care about school. Less I care about school. But also, like the more I respect my responsibilities in a way. Like I know what I have to do, and it's to the point where I enjoy stuff so much. I know what I enjoy, and I know that I like being able to be free in the moment so much that I'm just gonna get my work done early. I'm just gonna do it early so I can get back to myself in a way. And I feel like a lot of us are just in a constant loop of trying to get to ourselves. And I think the first step is, sort of grounding yourself in a moment, as well as grounding yourself in your own definition of who you are. In, saying that, stop trying to pull happiness from the external, stop trying to pull your worth and identity from the external too. I mean, to some extent, you need other people to balance out your personality. I learn a lot from other people. I love my friends. I love everyone I interact with. They're amazing. They make me better. But that's not to say that they make my identity. That's something I feel like we have to self-define. Otherwise, it's unstable foundation. People, can easily change their mind. Someone else can say something and it will throw your whole vibe up. It will throw everything, you thought you knew out the roof. In the same way that like people can get 100 compliments a day. They get one negative little thing and then it shifts their whole mood. And I think that's partially because they don't do that for themselves. It's about looking yourself in the mirror and telling yourself almost like, I'm exactly where I need to be, but I'm still growing. It's about positing that anchor, that foundation in your own change. I feel like sometimes people don't do that. I feel like I didn't do that because, in positing yourself in something that's always changing, you generally think that that's just unhealthy. That's not going to work. Like, why would that work if I'm the one changing? And it's not necessarily anchoring yourself to the past, but anchoring yourself to the present. And I was thinking about that literally earlier today, how I was like, how long is this like happiness gonna last for me? But then I was thinking about, I was like, this happiness, this mood that I'm feeling, this myself isn't necessarily anchored to a past. It's not anchored. It's not a relation or comparison to what has happened. It's a relation to who I am now. I'm doing what makes me happy in the moment. So, it can't really be taken away. And it can't ever stop. And I think that's sort of the answer a lot of people try to look for. Is no longer expecting, things to make you happy. But, you to make yourself happy and then experience those things. I feel like a lot of things lose their beauty. A lot of life loses its life in our inability to be ourselves in the moment. If you're angry, you go to a museum, you're probably not going to appreciate the art. And in many ways, life is like a display case. Life is like a huge monolith of art. The way people express themselves, the way they talk, the way they write, sing, dance, what music they listen to, architecture, like all of this is in some ways, art. It's an instantiation of somebody's life. And, it ought to be appreciated in some way. At least in my experience, I appreciate it. But it's about being able to capture, The small little things. 'Cause it's not the grand gestures that make life life. It's the small little instantiations and choices that we make on a day to day to move forward. I feel like it's like that motivation discipline sort of thing. I feel like it works in the same. Like motivation, it can be like this big spurt, big fire, but it diminishes over time because I feel like we can't hold on to that motivation as long as we don't hold on to either our reason or ourself. But that discipline is like making those small choices. Like when you're feeling a little bit, you know, doing whatever you need to do in order to get back to here. It's sort of a weird phenomenon, but you know, that's what I see that works for me. I don't know if it's gonna work for y'all, but I think it's a pretty good baseline in general. Not even if you even take it out the context of just motivation and discipline, like being able to choose and get on top of your mind in the sense that you can move forward, you can experience yourself in a way. Because I feel like no one truly knows themselves, and there's so much left to know. He who thinks the journey is over is the one that's truly lost. I feel like once we get that connotation for ourselves, or once we stop allowing ourselves to connotate ourselves, other people are able to do it. If you don't put that definition for yourself, other people are going to define you. And that definition is not always good. It's not always good. It's not always bad too, but I feel like it's always better to have that definition for yourself and then use others as a reflection. Because I can't necessarily say throw it out the window. As humans, we are social creatures. We need to learn how to interact better. I don't think my interactions where it needs to be 100%, but I don't think I interact bad. It's about loving how you are now, but also realizing how much change you can do and how much potential you have to get better. I think there is no answer. There is no end to like a self-development journey. It's just a constant betterment. Finding new ways to be you. Stop trying to see the life, start trying to be it. Stop waiting on life to happen. I feel like too often we sit and be like, man, I'll be happy when this happens. Or, man, I'll be so excited when I get this. Man, I'm about to be, oh my God. Nah. It's about finding those things now or getting to those things now. I'm not saying waste all your money and book a trip to Paris or France or something. France, the same thing. Or London and just be kicking it there. Oh my God, now you're broke when you come back or wherever you go. It's about sort of balancing your logic and your like emotion in a way. And I feel like I do a pretty good job at this. Like sometimes I let it teeter. Sometimes I, let one outweigh the other, just depending on the situation. I'm always gonna be conscious of my financial. That might be a bad thing. That might be something I rebuke sometimes later. Because I feel like a lot of times we feel like we make money instead of earning it. And I feel like that sort of mindset makes it seems harder to attain almost. But that's a story for another day. That's a story for another day. But yeah, stop waiting on life to happen. If you got a passion, it's kind of like the message to go all in, or this is your sign to go all in. Like, there's so much out here. Even if you feel like you don't have a lot out there, if you're able to watch this video, there's so much out there. You have a phone, you have a device, you have something, you have the ability to create, look for new things, look for yourself, new literature to read, new things to write, new things to draw, new occupations to look for, new career paths. And it's never over. Like, you always have time. You'll always have time. As long as you live and exist, you always have time. I feel like, I feel like people get older, and it was kind of my mindset going in, because I'm 19, about to turn 20, not really soon, but in general. And it gets to that point where you're like, man, I might have to start locking in. But it's it's not like saying that the journey's over, that you can't, keep doing what you're doing. And adding responsibility, I feel like many adults, I don't know if this is necessarily true or not, but this is just like my perspective. I feel like many adults give up on their like the part of them that's still a child. Because I feel like adults are just big children in a way, with a lot of responsibilities and a lot more maturity. And I feel like before break, I was in that state. I was in that state of, oh, I got to get these done. I'm just getting my stuff done. I'm doing this. I'm getting my stuff done. And I wasn't really appealing to the part of myself that was still a child in a way. Like appreciation of the past, but not like living in it. Realizing where I came from, realizing that I was like, man, like, cause I get real nostalgic at times especially when I see like TikToks and stuff, like old shows and old stuff that I used to indulge in. And in doing that, at first I was like, man, like all this time is going away. It damn near makes you want to cry. All this time has slipped away, and I didn't really appreciate it. But you did. You were happy in the moment. But that's why you were in the moment. And right now you're not in the moment. So instead of living in the past and trying to reliving that happiness, focus on how you can make this a better reality. Focus on how you can make this present better than that. Because there's always gonna be a relation. You're gonna look back and be like, man, these were the best years of my life. I'm gonna look back next year and be like, maybe, I don't know. Because I'm right now I'm trying to get up again. So it might be different for me because of the mindset I have now. But previously, I might have been look back and be like, man, that was so fun. Why isn't now like that? But there's always time to create new memories, always time to develop yourself and become even better. So stop waiting on life to happen. Get out there. Don't do anything crazy. But get out there and be yourself. Don't put yourself in a box. But also, be mindful of your own morality and spirit, whatever you want to call it. I think sometimes we unconsciously do bad. Not in the sense of like moral bads, but in the sense of like interactions. Maybe we didn't listen to this person enough. Maybe we didn't care for this person like we should have. Just always be receptive, but also be able to filter that out. Some people just talk. If you're watching this far, it's oh my god, I started talking so much longer in these videos. If you're watching this far, much love to you. I appreciate you so much. Literally, I don't even know what my sub count is right now. I've been trying not to look, but thank you all so much. It's so nice to look at my comments, be able to interact with y'all, and sort of give whatever wisdom. I don't know, y'all call it wisdom. I think I'm just a regular fella, but being able to talk to y'all about your issues and see some of myself in y'all, because I feel like we all experience the same stuff to some degree, just in different shades and different fonts, different filters. We all are tending towards one point, all coming from one point in a way. So if you're watching this far, thank you again. Thank y'all for however many subs I'm at right now. It's kind of surreal, but in the same way, like I told y'all, like I was already feeling the happiness for getting that. And I feel like that's kind of what brought it. I'm like, I'm just going to be happy creating regardless. And now my creation gets the appreciation that I gave to it. So, can't say thank you enough. Thank you. Enjoy your day. Do what you need to do. I have some podcasts coming out. I think I'm trying to link up with Ryan. He's another YouTuber. But our schedules don't really line up. He's like 3 hours away, and I'm constantly busy because I'm also a college student. But we'll find a way. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching.